Welcome, everyone, to the Tethys Shipyards. I am Takeshi Yamato, joining the Yardmaster, joining our host, the Housecoat Gamer.
Yo.
Today we're doing our next hero ship, and it's another cannon boat.
The boat in question is the USS Rutledge, NCC 57295, which kind of puts paid to the whole ship being. When does UP say that?
The New Orleans came about 2364, and I'll give it as an overview. It says, soon after the development of the Galaxy and Nebula class starships, Starfleet saw the new design style as innovative but requiring large amounts of resources for each of the ships to be constructed. Starfleet Command issued directives to shipyards across the Federation to design and produce starships for various mission profiles using the same design elements of their newest vessels, but keeping the crew sizes smaller than the Galaxy and Nebula classes, as Starfleet Academy was still opening new facilities on main member worlds and had a limited pool of graduating officers in the early 2360s.
Translation, someone screwed up. Because as much as everybody hates this, I have to keep drilling it into your heads, and it pisses me off to do so. The registry codes actually matter. They tell you when these ships were built. Pisses me off that I have to keep reminding you people about this. You want a clear indication? Go check the registry code of the Galaxy, the registry code of the Defiant. Do the math.
Yeah. I mean, I can sort of understand what they were going for with this. In a different game series which has starships with registry numbers, registry number is partly indicative of the class and ship type. So the people who did the book, who did the Utopia Planitia book, might have been going for something similar.
However, Starfleet doesn't work that way. Every single one of their ships is built one by one and uses the same bloody registry code. Nova, Charlie, Charlie. Not DDG, not DDE, not BB, NCC.
Yeah. And the other franchise did the same thing. All the ships had a registry code starting with GFS. The number basically determined the type. Again, that's what I'm thinking the people who did Utopia Planitia are doing here. You look at since it's all NCC, you look at the number after that and, oh, that's a ship of this class or a ship of that class.
Which is retarded. Just being simple about it. The New Orleans class was clearly designed to be a small-scale prototype of the Galaxy, especially considering the registry codes of every ship we've seen of the class, including the Kyushu and the Rutledge. Meaning this ship was built in the 2350s at most.
Right.
Besides, as stated in The Wounded, Miles O'Brien served on this ship. As did Benjamin Maxwell. 10 years before the Enterprise D even launched.
Wow. Okay.
That poses a problem, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Now, I apologize if I am a little bit angry. Okay, not a little. I'm furious. Someone screwed up basic math. Twice.
Yeah.
Regardless, the USS Rutledge continued to serve long after the Setlik III massacre, and many other incidents that happened during the border wars. Maxwell was eventually transferred to the USS Phoenix. But the Rutledge continued to serve until at least the Dominion War era. There is no word of the vessel's fate afterwards. However, considering the only thing that the New Orleans really couldn't fight against was a Borg cube, hint hint, Wolf 359,
Yeah.
the New Orleans class really is the best of the Century Cruiser program, not counting the Galaxy herself. Or the Nebula.
Yeah.
It is basically a galaxy in miniature, and reflects that in more than just appearance.
Yeah.
Now, I am going to apologize multiple times for getting angry, but when something doesn't make sense, I make sure you know it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get to actually statting this thing before Ron gets even angrier.
Too late.
All right. Right. Anyway, now, first things first, the basic stats for this thing. We're still going with the basic stats as of the 2364 variant of this thing, which is comms 9, computers 10, engines 10, sensors 10, structure 8, weapons 9. If we were to do it in the 2350, if you want to do a baseline using the proper date of the 2350s, take a point away from somewhere, but that's fun. But refit points will add that back in. And speaking of, what year do we want to represent this thing? Dominion War era or what?
I'm half tempted to say the Battle of Sector 001.
Okay, so 2373.
Because the Rutledge would probably be there just to go, "You killed some of my sisters, you son of a bitch. Time for revenge!"
Yeah.
Because, yeah, the Galaxy class program really got shafted by the Borg. Let's be honest, there's a reason they all got decommissioned by the end of the 24th century.
Yeah. Anyway, so that'll give us one refit point. I'll say that gives us a refit point, even if it's technically 9 years. But do we want to put that into structure, comms, computers, engines, sensors, structure, or weapons?
Probably structure. For obvious reasons.
Alright, structure up to 9. Now, mission profile.
Well, the ship is designed for long-range survey and reconnaissance.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, she's basically just a bigger version of the Oberth.
Yeah. And for suggested mission profiles in the book, it's scientific and survey, technical testbed, or multi-role explorer.
Considering this thing is a mini galaxy in every single way, I mean, just look at the damn thing.
Yeah. So what do you think? Multi-role?
Yeah.
Alright. Multi-role explorer. And that basically gives 2 in every single department. And the New Orleans has a +1 modifier in con, engineering, and science. So overall, that gives departments of command 2, con 3, security 2, engineering 3, science 3, medicine 2. For talents, the New Orleans space frame comes with high-resolution sensors and modular laboratories, and the multi-role explorer profile gives the following options for a third talent: improved hull integrity, improved power systems, redundant systems, rugged design, and secondary reactors.
Not entirely sure what to give it.
Yeah. I'd say rugged design.
I mean, it's the Galaxy class.
Yeah. And we have room for one more talent, as it is a scale 4 starship. Improved power systems?
Well, she is basically a miniature galaxy, and those have improved power systems in more ways than one.
Yeah, improved power systems talent. Basically, whenever it succeeds in power management tasks, it gains 2 power per momentum spent instead of 1. Repeatable. For weapons, it has phaser arrays, photon torpedoes, and a strength 3 tractor beam, just like any other New Orleans. Scale plus security, 4 plus 2 is 6, and photon torpedoes are 3 plus security, so 5. And let's see. Derived stats, we have resistance 4, power 10, shields 11, structure plus security. Descriptor traits, Federation starship. I'd say just Federation starship.
Well, other than O'Brien's legacy, this is the ship where he served on. In fact, the primary reason we're even doing this vid is Miles O'Brien. This was his ship before he served on the Enterprise.
O'Brien's legacy.
And yes, DS9 is his third assignment. He appeared in TNG first. Get over it.
Yeah. He in terms of to put it in Star Trek Adventures terms, O'Brien was basically a he was basically a supporting character for the first 5 seasons of Next Generation, before he transferred over to Deep Space Nine and got an upgrade to main character status.
Oh, please. The man was already practically main cast after Encounter at Farpoint.
Yeah, fair enough.
After he got put in the transporter room, he was seen in pretty much every episode that featured Transporter Room 3, which was every time a transporter room was featured.
Fair enough.
That pretty much gave him cast billing without being, well...
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there was The Wounded, which gave him the backstory, and then... Well... What happened 2 years later?
DS9, and he actually got proper main character status.
So, yeah. The primary reason we did this was Miles O'Brien. That, and it was the easiest canon ship to actually stat. Voyager's a pain in the ass. Do I really need to mention every single Enterprise?
Yeah, and those are actually already statted in Utopia Planitia as notable starships. Again, let me go through that just to see.
My point is, this was one of the easier ships to actually stat.
Yeah.
Mostly because, well, there's not much we know about the Rutledge, other than the fact that she survived everything that happened. At least up until the Dominion War.
Yeah. After that, we don't know, but...
For all we know, she's still flying around out there. Doing a decent job of trying to represent the Century Cruiser program that birthed her.
Yeah.
despite the fact that technology just superseded her, just like the Galaxy class. Anyway,
Yeah.
bye bye.